Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's 9:30 on July the 24th, and we had some clouds, and then the sun came out a little bit later in the afternoon. We actually had a pretty decent afternoon. You can see the thunderstorms all popping off to the west and inland, basically, and you can also see what looks like a little bit of smoke or haze over the Great Lakes that we may be dealing with tomorrow or Wednesday, perhaps. We'll look at all that in this weather update. Let's first talk about what our current conditions are outside right now. Temperatures, not a bad evening. The dew points are up there, though. I see the dew point has risen to 72, 75 degrees at Farmingdale right now. But where I live in the alley, yeah, it's still around 80. So, yeah, it's just this block. You come home and it's such a nice breeze, and you get to this block and you're gonna pass out. But anyway, 70 degrees at Gabreski Airport, 75 at Islip as well. Let's go ahead and look at what your day was like today at Islip. Waiting for it to load here. And you'll see here that temperatures didn't really get all that hot today. We had that high overcast much of the day. Other than that, you can see the dew points were on the upswing throughout the day. Now the dew point's up to 72. So let's go look at our highs across the area for the day, and our highs were generally in the mid 80s, I guess low to mid 80s, generally speaking. Though upper 80s in the city. I can see upper 80s in the city there. While waiting for that to load, if it'll ever load, the site sometimes just doesn't want to work, and I think this is one of those times where it unfortunately has decided not to work. But we'll give it a chance to work. We'll show you what the day was like. We did have some clear skies. Yes, I actually was in the pines. I went to East Meadow. There, I have a few pines to look at over there. We did have a nice blue sky in the late afternoon hours, you could see. And then this evening, you could see, I think we're going to be dealing with some smoke because this is the sunset tonight. And you can see the sun was kind of red, and you can see the haze. That's a shower, or maybe even a thunderstorm. It was basically just a shower, a couple of weak showers inland. All right, so here are our highs. They did finally pop up. Sometimes you got to be patient. You can see, yeah, my area got into the upper 80s. But most parts of Long Island were in the low to mid 80s. And upper 80s also in the city. And mid 80s in New Jersey. Let's go to the lows. And 63 at West Hampton. Other than that, lows were around 70. And in the mid 70s in the city, which again is basically what I'm dealing with. And then we've got mid 60s there. It's like cooled off in the out east in the Pine Barrens, in Suffolk, and as well, especially New Jersey, it cooled off quite nicely. Let's look at the statistics for today. And so for Islip, we had a high of 83. That's right on the mark for a normal high. The low was 70, which is 2 degrees above normal. So we were 1 degree above normal for the day. Central Park had 85, right on the money again, normal high for this time of the year. But the low was a little warmer than expected, 74 instead of 71. So it puts us 2 degrees above normal for Central Park. And Newark, 88 degrees, which is a degree above normal. And the low is also a degree above normal. So 2 degrees above normal for the average for the day at Newark. And LaGuardia, we'll just show you LaGuardia again. 87 was the high at LaGuardia. So let's go ahead and branch this out a little bit. Look at our high temperatures and show you the heat that's sort of coming our way. And you can see there actually is a severe thunderstorm warning in Pennsylvania right now. We do have some severe thunderstorm activity in Ohio, it looks like. And then here are the heat and red flag warnings across much of the country here. The heat continues in the southwest. 115 there in Blythe. Looks like it's cooled off maybe a little bit in interior California. We still got the heat going in the Oregon, and a lot of red flag warnings as well due to wildfire conditions there in Montana as well. And we also have a heat advisory also for up into Kansas and even Nebraska, where highs were, oh my God, 100 in Kansas. The hundreds are extending into Kansas and then we got upper 90s extending into Nebraska. So and this heat is going to build as we go through this week here. Let's see if we can get some pull this out a little bit. I'm trying to show you this thing does not work well, unfortunately. So yeah, it just has trouble. I don't know why. But we can show you North Dakota, 81 degrees there with the dew point of 70. That's pretty warm that far north. You can see we got 80s way up into Canada too. Saskatchewan as well. Buffalo Narrows up to 82, and that's why I wanted to see what the high was in these places. Let's see how hot it got there. So generally speaking, mid 80s. So again, pretty warm up in Canada, and that's not good for the wildfire situation up there as well. So let's go look at the radar and get rid of that site. We'll look at the radar and we'll show you the thunderstorm activity that we're dealing with. So we are dealing with some thunderstorm activity in Pennsylvania, well upstate New York. Looks like a severe storm up, moving out of New York and into Vermont. Last thing they need is more rain in Vermont. And then we have more severe thunderstorm activity in Ohio, as well as Kentucky. And then another area of showers up into Canada. Not a whole lot of rain out west. You see a little bit of scattered rain. Looks like Arizona is starting to see maybe some of their monsoon rain start to develop. That's probably why the temperatures have dropped, and it's not quite as brutal over there as it was. But still, still crazy warm everywhere. So let's go to Earth.nos. Let's go to the Earth site here, and I want to just show you the sea surface temperature anomalies because they're pretty insane and very alarming. And you can see, taking a look at the North Atlantic, I've never seen the North Atlantic look like this. And these are some pretty crazy sea surface temperature anomalies that we're looking at here. You'll see that off Newfoundland, for instance, we're 7 degrees above normal with the water temperatures. In fact, there's even areas that are 13 degrees above normal. And this area extends all the way up to Greenland. And that's very concerning because there's been a lot of warmth in Greenland, as we're seeing. And that's going to really be a big problem if a sea ice melt. All right. And we go into the Mediterranean here, and, they're going through a heat wave in Europe, as we know, and these Mediterranean temperatures are 8 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, or 4 degrees Celsius, 4 degrees Celsius above normal. Very warm, very big anomalies. And for the actual sea surface temperatures, you'll see the kind of insane stuff we're talking about here. So first, we're going to start off here in the North Atlantic, and you'll see here you've got sea surface temperatures that are over almost 70 degrees south of Newfoundland, which is really insane. And then you go even further south, you got water temperatures almost near 80. Look at how far those warm water temperatures reach. It's pretty crazy. And even if you go up toward Greenland, 53 degree water temperatures, which is very warm for that far north. And then as you get closer to our area, we got water temperatures in the mid 70s. But if you look at Florida and the Gulf, it's really insane. You see all the purples here. Those are water temperatures near 90 degrees. So really unusually warm waters, and that's not a good thing when talking about the tropics. And then also in the Mediterranean, we have water temperatures up to the upper 80s and possibly near 90. And then this is the area that's really insane. Water temperatures in the 90s in the Persian Gulf. That's insane, and that's why you're getting those really high dew points. I mean, it's just incredible what we're seeing over there. It really is catastrophic. I can't even imagine dealing with that. So off to the Storm Prediction Center, you can see a slight risk of thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms in Ohio, and then there's a marginal risk eastern Pennsylvania. Looking at tomorrow, we see a little more activity here. It's closer to our area. Marginal risk in the southern part of New Jersey with a slight risk in the mid-Atlantic, as well as a slight risk in the Dakotas, and I'm surrounded by a marginal risk for severe weather in that area. Looking at our weather map here, you'll see we have high pressure that is in control, weak high, a little low, then just a series of weak fronts that are kind of just stuck, basically. They're just stuck in place. So they're not moving at all. So let's go to the models. And actually, I just want to look at a few more satellite loops. Let's go look at the Great Lakes satellite loop. And Dawn is no longer an entity anymore, but I will want to look at that as well. So here's the smoke. Yeah, you can clearly see the smoke there coming in over Illinois, especially. Probably gonna maybe Northern Plains might be if they've got a Northern Plains here, one that we could look at here. The MODIS is still down, by the way, so we have to use this. All right, can maybe use this one here. Gas one's perfect. All right, so you can see the smoke really coming in here, and I want to kind of show it to you here. We'll find the pause button. I'll rewind this a little bit here. So you can see the smoke. There it is. That's showing up real nice there. And you can see the thick smoke that's making its way into Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois, into the Great Lakes area. And that's something that we are going to deal with. And that's coming all the way from Canada, Western Canada to be exact. Because if we look at the Northern Canadian loop here, you can clearly see where it's coming from right there. And there it is. There's that finger of smoke right there. We can go here and look. Let's make this 36 frames a second. And you can see there's that finger of smoke right there. So there it is. And you can clearly see where it's heading. It's heading down to the low of 48 because we have we'll draw this out here, low over here. And then the circulation around that low is bringing it down into the Great Lakes. And the question is, will it be going over our area? That is the question. We'll have to look at the models for that. You can see there's also storm off the Pacific Northwest as well. So you can see it's kind of generating like a ridge over there. And we have fires out west, too, that are going. Because if we look at the Pacific Northwest here, you can see we have several fires going. We have several fires in Oregon right now. And it looks like there was one in Montana, too. But the ones in Oregon are really going badly. You can see there's a lot of smoke coming from them as well. Oh, we just had one pop up in California, too. So we do have wildfires now in California as well. That's Pacific Northwest. That seems a little zoomed out. Let's see if we can get a little closer here. Let's see if we can... Northern Pacific, U.S. Pacific Coast. We could do Pacific Coast. But I'm looking at the Pacific Northwest, but let's try that again. Yeah, that is it's kind of zoomed out. It's almost the whole Pacific. I don't know why they have it set up like that. Let's see, maybe this might work better. Not really. I wanted to get a close-up of those fires going on, but I guess we're not going to be able to do that. It's bad that the MODIS is out. It's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. But we have Pacific Southwest. We have U.S. Pacific Coast, but that's what we're looking at before. But yeah, you can sort of see the fires here. There's that one in California, and then you got several in Oregon that are going. So we have a new fire in California that just started, Northern California. That's going to continue to get worse. And again, if we go look at the Northern Canada, Northern U.S., and I want to just look at the GLM flash intensity, we do have areas where there's lightning. Here's an area where there's lightning, and then another area where there's lightning also in Ontario province as well. So all these areas where there's lightning have the potential to start new wildfires. So it continues. Just enjoying the blue sky today because the future is going to bring more smoke. So let's look at the models here and let's take a look at what's going to be happening as we head into this week. And actually, we're going to look a little more at the long range. So let's go to the North American view first, and we'll look at the upper air. All right, so we'll look at the upper air, and you'll see here there's that little trough that we have in the east, but then you can see what happens. It kind of goes zonal as we get into the weekend there. A little bit of troughing in the east there. You can still see this jet stream is kind of a mess when you look at this. I think we went over this yesterday a little bit, but I wanted to show you what was going to happen in August. It does look like it's trending a little cooler for August if you look at this jet stream forecast here. Let's look at the 500 millibar level, and you will see that there is troughiness as we leave them in the month. There is troughiness in the east, which would tendency to make it a little cooler as we get to August. So we'll have to see. We might actually cool down for August. I hope we do. July is going to be above normal. That's a lock, obviously. So as far as this week goes, you'll see we have that chance of showers mainly inland. And then you see that Bermuda Ridge building there. It's going to bring the hot weather. And then we were hoping a cold front could come through possibly for the weekend and bring some relief. More likely, we're going to see that relief as we head into August with the high building down there from eastern. That looks like more of an eastern Canadian. You can see those cold fronts coming through, which would bring, again, relief from the heat that we've been experiencing. Like I said, we've been above normal for quite pretty much all July. Though today was near normal, but mostly above normal. So let's go look at the HRRR. Oh, we have a problem. Yeah, we don't have the 0Z HRRR in. Okay, we don't have the 0Z HRRR in, and I don't have the 18Z either. So we're missing runs on the HRRR. So there are some issues with the HRRR we're not going to be able to use. So we can't use the HRRR model. We'll have to go use the NAM model, 3 kilometers, to take a look and show you where the thunderstorm activity is going to be. And you can see it's mostly inland, but the NAM is showing a complex of storms that could form tomorrow, bringing a line through. It kind of weakens it when it gets to Long Island, which indicates that there would be a sea breeze tomorrow that would weaken it. And that's why they have that. That's why they have the risk basically for severe weather in New Jersey, not so much for us. And then as we go into Wednesday is fairly dry. So again, I prefer to use the HRRR, but we just don't have it. So let's look at the GFS and our dew points here as we head into tomorrow, and you'll see we have that southerly flow, and we'll have that southwesterly flow again tomorrow. More of a south-southwesterly flow, so that should keep a sea breeze in play. And then as we get into Wednesday, that's when the flow becomes more westerly. So we'll drop the dew points a little bit, but it's going to be hotter. And then we get into the really hot stuff, west-southwest wind Thursday. And that's going to bring in the heat and the humidity. And look at that. We're going to have that Friday, too. It's going to be a pair of brutal days. And then Saturday, still showing a killer west wind on Saturday. So we'll be able to string together 3 really brutal days. And then this front finally tries to make it through on Sunday. You can see it kind of tries to get stalled out. And eventually makes it through by the end of the month. And then we get a nice push of some really nice air with dew points in the 40s. It's going to be really nice as we get into August. And, there'll be some humidity that tries to come back in the picture. But it looks like we will have definitely a big change for August. So let's go look at our temperatures. And again, we don't have the HRRR. So high temperatures tomorrow, probably going to be mid 80s. Again, if you're on the South Shore or East End, it'll be cooler, hotter inland, especially Jersey, closer to 90. Wednesday, I think we get close to 90. I think this is kind of underestimating the temperatures Wednesday. And Thursday, why is it having the temperatures so low with that wind flow? It's still having only upper 80s to around. I think it's going to be 90s. I don't know why it's doing that. Friday, then it finally brings in the 90s on Friday. And that Friday and Saturday are probably going to be the 2 worst days, I guess, according to GFS. Mid-90s, perhaps. Maybe somebody might even hit 100 if you're in New Jersey. Not much of a sea breeze. And then Saturday, for some reason again, has the temperatures lower, probably because of clouds and shower activity. That's probably why. I'll have to look at the cloud forecast on this. And then you'll see the big change as we get into August. We may have hot days where highs are only in the 70s. It's going to be very nice. May have some smoke around. I can't guarantee that, but at least it'll be cooler. Now for Tuesday, tomorrow, you'll see it's showing us in the clear, so it's not showing a whole lot of clouds. Wednesday, also not showing that many clouds. Thursday, it's showing a decent amount of clouds. That's probably why it doesn't want to get the temperature that high. Friday, and then some clouds on Friday. Saturday, some clouds. Sunday, maybe a few clouds. This overdoes it, all right? Let's take a look and see how much rain the GFS is predicting through Sunday. And it is predicting some days with the rain. So we'll see where the rain chances are going to be. Now, again, I don't have the higher resolution models. It looks like it would mainly be perhaps Saturday. This is low resolution. And then let me see how much. Trying to figure out when it brings most of the rain in. Yeah, it brings it on. Probably brings it in over the weekend with that cold front, probably. So that's when we're going to see the rain. Let me go back to the clouds, and we'll go to the RGEM next. And the RGEM also showing, it is showing a cumulus buildup, mainly inland. And then it is bringing some more clouds in through the evening. Perhaps, again, with that chance of the showers and thunderstorms. For Wednesday, a lot less clouds. I think Wednesday will have a lot less clouds than tomorrow. And then Thursday, also showing just not too many clouds, maybe just some higher clouds later on in the day. Let's go to the REP smoke model next, and we'll go look at vertically integrated smoke model and see where this smoke is going to be going. So it looks like tomorrow, still no smoke. What about the 26th? Still keeping it just to the north, basically. It seems like it's just keeping it just to the north. So we may miss out on the smoke if we're lucky. We won't have to deal with it too badly. The Great Lakes will. But the worst of the smoke seems to be staying in Canada for the most part, though eventually we may have to deal with that wildfire smoke from out in the Pacific Northwest. We'll look at the near-surface smoke model. So here's the near-surface smoke model, and you'll see that most of the near-surface smoke seems to be staying in the Great Lakes area. So it might stay off to the northwest, though. We did see it in the sunset tonight again, but that, you got to remember, our sunset's in the northwest. So this is looking to the northwest toward where the smoke is. So, yeah, we may not have to deal with any smoke, which will be very, very nice for sure. Let's lastly go to the Climate Prediction Center. That'll be our last stop on this weather update. And the 6 to 10 day outlook, you see the changes here. It's got the northeast below normal, that cooler air, and the south very much above normal. Above normal in the west. Precipitation also above normal in the 6 to 10 day outlook for us. 8 to 14 day also features above normal precipitation and cooler than normal temperatures in the northeast and near normal in the upper plains. So that shows us that we will have cold fronts come through. And some thunderstorms bringing some rain at this of above normal precipitation. So that is going to wrap up this weather update. And it looks like at least we'll get some cooler weather, though we'll have to see how much more rain we're going to get because, again, some areas, I mean, Long Island, all right, we're not really that bad, but some areas really don't need any more rain than they've gotten. They're just all filled. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night.